Welcome to a discussion about Fish Don't Clap with Michael Roby. This is really interesting and fun for me, Mike. As the people listening to this might not know, you are like one of my longest mentors I've ever had. I'm going to throw this back to 1998 when we first met. In fact, I think it was November or December of 98, and I started in October. So we've been friends a long time, and you've been in this space of financial advising and coaching and helping people. And so let's just take a second and introduce you. Obviously, you and I met a long time ago, but where are you at and what are you doing right now?
Well, as you so appropriately pointed out, I'm officially old. I've been in the business 51 years. I'm older than the Pope. Both of my kids have had body parts removed. I'm officially old. So which in my family is kind of a rare occurrence. I've had people ask me about if we had any incidents of Alzheimer's in our family, and nobody's ever lived long enough to find out. We have other issues. So I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
But spent a number of years as a financial advisor, then went over the investment banking side of the business. All along the way had interest in insurance agency, also a mortgage company. Went into investment banking full-time in 97. You and I met almost 2 years later.
Yeah.
And because I don't necessarily always play well with others, I went back on my own in 2006 and full-time business coaching and do a lot of speaking since that time. And it's been a good run. It's been fun.
That's great. I've been down to visit you. You're down in close to Nashville, Tennessee, which is a great state and closer to where you grew up in Kentucky. So if you pick up an accent, that's why, right?
It makes a difference. You know, if I tell you rooster and haul a freight train, you better hunt a harness.
Oh, I love it. Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, Mike, is you're an author yourself. You have the Ultimate Small Cap book that you wrote a while back, and I just redid the Fish Don't Clap book, and I added a chapter at the end of it because I had people asking me, like, how do you put it into play? How do you put it into motion when you come across a situation in life where you're looking at that next phase of life? Like, what should you be thinking about? Because the book, if you haven't read it, is a parable. So I know you have, Mike, but it's a parable. It's not an I Love Brad book, I always say. It's just a story that walks people through. The last chapter is now my thoughts of who you should see, questions you should be asking, that type of thing. But you've been around this space a long time. You also are in that demographic where some of your friends are retiring. What are you seeing from a standpoint of purpose when it comes to your friends or this industry and people retiring? Because it just seems to be I just got done with the meeting today and we talked about it. Like, what are you seeing when you think about retirement or your friends? What are you hearing or seeing?
That's a great question. Something that I've been talking about because I'm still out on the road quite a bit. I hear companies all the time talk about creating a culture. We've got to create a culture where we have to change our culture. And the fact of the matter is there's only really two cultures. You don't create one, you choose one, you pick one. And the two cultures that are out there in the world are the culture of what we'll call scarcity versus abundance. And too many people operate in a mindset and a worldview of scarcity, where there's never enough. There's never enough time. There's never enough money, not enough clients. There's not enough of anything. And people are anxious and they're unsettled and they're always on to the next thing. They're tired. But that's not really the way the world has to work. And it's all about competition. It's all about performance. And it ends up at some level being about shame and guilt, because if your competitor or your associate is doing more than you are, it's not because you did anything wrong, but sometimes we attach guilt and shame to that. Guilt means I did something wrong. That's healthy. Mm-hmm. Shame means I am something wrong. And that's not the way we're created. And so if we take a look at scarcity as opposed to abundance, where it's not competition, it's collaboration. It's not about you, it's about everyone else. And in the process of that, I'm okay. And as a result of that, there is no scarcity. Everything that I need is here already.
Mm.
Everything I need is here
Yeah.
already. You and I have a mutual friend that's going to be around the Twin Cities Marathon next month. The
Mm-hmm.
course is already there. They know exactly where the water stands will be. The elevation is not going to change between now and October. It's just not. Um, but the fact of the matter is, you have to do certain training to get certain results. So everything that we need is already here in this reality. And it's a question if you're doing things on purpose as opposed to getting things.
Mm.
Life becomes
That's
a lot
profound.
easier. It
Yeah.
becomes a lot easier.
When you think about, I mean, the thing that came to my mind is you and I both know Dan Sullivan and Strategic Coach, and he always talks about your future's bigger than your past. I think about it when I meet with clients, even family members. If I can get them focused on the future and something they're looking forward to, that's a real positive sign, and people have a little bit of a mental shift. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. See, and the fact of the matter is, tell me what you can do to change anything in your past.
Can't. You
Nothing.
can't.
You can't. Nothing. And can I predict the future with 100-degree certainty?
No.
Well, getting back to the worldview, uh, a scarcity mindset is all about certainty, and there is no certainty.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you look at abundance, it's about the mystery. And so, we've all heard the saying that men plan, God laughs. Well, the fact is if we have to make plans, we have to give some thoughtful consideration to what the future looks like. It's a question of constantly asking yourself, what do you want? What's really important to me?
Yeah.
In one way that I have changed is it's who are the people that are across my path today that I can benefit some way. Now, I'm not talking being codependent. Some people practice codependency at a very high level because they're trying to do things to please other people because it makes them feel good about themselves, even if that's not good for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're looking at the future and we're saying, okay, what is a proven process to get me from where I am right now to where I want to be?
Yeah.
What is a proven process? Knowing that there's no certainty there, but also putting in, things change.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, Google Maps says I'm supposed to go down this road, and by the way, it's on a bridge, and the bridge ends, and I'm going into the water. You got to be able to make changes along the way. And
Right.
ultimately, the question that I'm constantly asking myself every day is, what else do I need to know about this? And what do I need to know today? Today's all I have.
Mm.
Today is
Yeah, I
all
love
I
that.
have.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. Mike, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this question. You've been around financial advisors, we're just going to say 30 plus years. You were one yourself, you've been around them. What are some traits of a good financial advisor? What if
I look at experience, but I want to see what kind of life they live. If they're posting pictures on social media all the time about all the places they're going and all the fun that they're having, but you don't see anything that's pouring into their community or their family or to the people that are in their sphere, I want to know what's here. I want to know what's here. It's not just enough to be competent. One thing I want to see pretty close to the top, the client always comes first, because if it's not right for the client, it's not right for me. But then you look at things like diversification, asset allocation, ensuring those things you can't predict.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can build the best financial plan in the world for accumulating wealth over a long period of time. So I want to look at the principles that they use to run their business and the principles that they use to run their life. About relationship.
Yeah.
For example, in my case, Zig Ziglar. If anybody's ever been in the world of professional speaking or emotional or motivational speaking, I had an opportunity to have dinner with him one time, and that's one thing I learned. He said, just the more you help other people get what they get, you're going to get what you want to get. It's pretty simple. It's all about other people. Because the fact of the matter is, I did a corporate keynote a month ago, and it's all about other people. And I had people come up and ask, that had nothing to do with business, but it had everything to do with business. That's just true. It's just true. It's about people. It's absolutely about people. So when you and people will remember the slightest things that you will forget about. They'll remember if you treat them badly, but they'll remember if you did the right thing. And I'm not saying did things just to make them happy. I'm not here to make people happy.
Yeah.
Happy is kind of a nebulous term. But if we're truth tellers, and if we're talking to people about the things that are truly important, I think when it comes to financial advisors, with the possible exception of medical professionals, those people in military or law enforcement, things of that nature, teachers, nobody has the ability to provide provide a greater impact, positive impact in the lives of people than what financial advisors do. Yeah. I'd say, with the exception of medical professionals, first responders, military, law enforcement, teachers, when those professions are done well, people change the world.
Yeah.
And I think financial advisors do as well.
Yeah. It's interesting, again, as going back to, like, you've been able to juggle, meaning that your family does come first. Like, I've seen you, drop things and go take care of your family. But I've also seen you, go and help your friends and help people you don't know.
That's accurate. I will say this, the most interesting people, Brad, that you will ever meet in this life are the most interested people. They're genuinely interested in you. Got a friend here in town named Parker Wanser. Parker's a younger guy. He's brilliant. He's just a genius. And Mel and I met him for dinner, and him and a guy named Wayne Garvey not too long ago. And first thing we sit down, and Parker, who's about 29, says, "What have you learned about life this week?" See, I'm not big on small talk anymore. Hey, what do you think about this weather? I could care freaking less about weather. But he says, what have you learned about life this week?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting here letting things run through my head right now as you ask that question,
Yeah, small talk. I'm too old to waste time with things that don't matter. And because of the fact none of us know when the clock runs out, I think that applies to all of us.
Yeah.
It's pouring into people, but being genuinely interested in them and what matters in their lives.
Yeah. Well, Mike, it's been so interesting to talk to you today. We could go on for another hour. We just don't have the time for it, but I really appreciate it. In the book, it's a public speaker on stage that retires because he hits his name or hits his number and he hits his years of service or whatever you call it, and he's in a boat fishing and the fish don't clap. He finds out he's not fulfilled. You are that public speaker, but you haven't hung up your cleats, so to speak, that you continue to stay out there, and you're an inspiration to me, and I know a lot of people, because you have purpose and passion and all those things. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for being my mentor. It's truly an honor to interview you today. And if you need to, pick up a copy of Fish Don't Clap, our expanded condition we just put out. But Mike, thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
You humble me, and I'm grateful for that. I've been blessed to have our paths cross, and I'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, bud.
Take care.